I knew it. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris checking in with another video. I am videoing you from the corner of the self-quarantining universe. Things are not the best, I must admit that, but hey, there's sunshine outside, it's a beautiful brand new day, and it's a perfect time to just stay at home and reflect and really think about things. Let's get on with the topic of today, which is, as you can see from below, my heritage. In January, I went back home to visit my family, and I have been prolonging this for the longest time because it's been so expensive to do it. There was a sale and it was $59, and I'm like, I have to buy it. So I purchased it, did the exam, did the testing when I was back at home, and then 10 weeks later, I finally got the results, and I haven't looked at them yet, so we're gonna open them together. I just came back from the motherland. Well, I went to Morocco this week. It was the first time I went to Africa, and it really got me thinking. I'm on the motherland the first time 10 generations later. When I was in Morocco, I got the call that my results came in, and it was absolutely fascinating. Okay, so before we start, many of you know that I lived in China for about 5 years, okay? And I had the first chances to meet and interact with people from the diaspora when I was in China. I've met Black people from all over the planet. From Africa, of course, from Canada, from the Caribbean, from South America, from Australia, from the UK. So it's been a really, really rewarding experience. And everybody has asked me, Chris, where do you come from? Some of my people will say, Chris, you look like you're Nigerian. You look like you're Ghanaian. You look like you're from West Africa, at least. I don't know, but I love Nigerian music, okay? So when I hear like Shoki, like that is just life for me, okay? So I have a feeling that I am Nigerian. I have a feeling, but I could be wrong. I could be Ghanaian, I'm not sure. But my guess is that I'm Nigerian. My mother on my mom's side is Native American. My great-grandfather apparently was Irish. I'm not sure exactly if that's true or not, but you know, the tests, they'll figure it out for us. So let's see. Okay, all right, so let's see. I'm really nervous. Okay. All right. All right, so let's see. Ancestry.com, my DNA story. Hey! I knew it. I knew it. I could call myself a Nigerian husband now. Your DNA shows that you have ancestry from Nigeria and links you to these specific regions. Early North Carolina African Americans, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina African Americans. That is true because my grandparents both are from Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. It was during the Great Migration, I don't know the exact terminology, during the 1950s when African Americans from the South immigrated to cities like Chicago, Detroit, and New York. And my family happened to move to Detroit because of the booming industry at Ford Motor Company. So all my family, from my grandparents down to the next generation, which are like my parents' generation, they all worked at Ford Motor Company. And yeah, so Nigeria, okay. I'm gonna have to take a trip soon, all right? So Nigeria is 31%. I also have 28% Cameroon, Congo, and Southern Bantu people, all right? Mali, 15% Mali. Benin and Togo is 7. Ok, c'est trop cool, je peux parler le français maintenant avec un accent de Mali, ok? Vive le peuple camerounais. It says my DNA shows that I have ancestry from England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe and links me to the early North Carolina African Americas. So that's interesting, all right? So I was just in England last weekend, so I mean, I didn't feel too much of a connection, but I got people in England, y'all. Hey. I also am 3% Senegalese, which is interesting. I am 3% European Jewish, 2% Ireland and Scotland, 1% Sweden, and only 1% Ghanaian. Okay, so I was wrong. I am not from Ghana. Like, I don't have that much Ghanaian in me, but I still claim Ghana. 1% Germanic Europe, 1% Norway, 1% Indigenous Americas Mexico, okay, 1% Indigenous Americas North, 1% Basque, 1% Greek in the Balkans, and 1% Southern and Eastern Africa, hunter and gatherers. But the majority of me is Nigerian. So, it's interesting because you can actually see on this app, let me see if I can actually go into it. So it says, you probably have relatives who were part of this community in the past few hundred years. The more specific places within this community where your family was likely from, it's East Central Georgia African Americans. So that makes a lot of sense because when you think about legacy of slavery over the past few hundred years, they brought so many Africans from the west coast of Africa to that part of the States where a lot of the plantations were most prominent. And my family so happened to be in Alabama. And it's crazy because I actually did this research where my great-great-great-grandmother was married off, I think, at the age of 15 in Alabama, in Birmingham, Alabama. And that was I think, 10 or so years before slavery was abolished in the United States. So, wow. So moving forward, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for me? I think the best way I can wrap this up is by quoting the late Maya Angelou. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but like life, I rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. There I go.